Good morning. You're watching the F&O show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. The top headlines. BJP leads with over 100 seats in the 222-seat Karnataka Assembly. JDS too makes inroads into Congress's strongholds. And markets cheer the BJP's imminent victory. The Nifty now trades about 10,900. India VIX cools off in trade. And open interest in PC Jeweler surges after traders take fresh positions in its futures. And TPG Manipal puts in a fresh bid for Fortis Healthcare less than a week after the Fortis board chose the Munjal Berman Combines offer for the company. And 234 Chinese stocks make it to the MSCI index for the first time ever, and changes are announced to the Indian basket as well.
All right, those are the top headlines at this hour, but let's also tell you the trends that are emerging in the futures and options market right now. And clearly, it's turning out to be a great day as Nifty reclaimed the 10,900 mark for the first time that was seen in the month of February. But right now, there is some profit booking which has kicked in even at higher levels as Nifty is just about at 10,900 as we speak, trading with gains of almost 95 points. What's important is after the results, now we know what the trend is. BJP has emerged as a single largest party. Probably they will also cross the halfway mark of 112. On back of that, we've seen the volatility which was surging in the last few days. The India VIX has corrected actually very sharply. So that's down almost 11.5%. Now pull up the futures, the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty futures. Let's see if with the markets inching higher, whether the premium is also going up or not. Not really, actually. The Nifty futures are trading with the premium of almost 14 to 15 points. The open interest surge is only about 2.5 points. Bank Nifty, which is leading today, and that's precisely got to do with the gains that one has seen for the likes of ICICI and HDFC Bank, both heavyweights. Bank Nifty futures still continue to trade at a discount despite of the surge of 1.5% that we've seen in today's trade. All sectoral indices also trade in green. The broader markets are also doing well. The market breadth is looking good after quite a while. In the last few sessions, we've seen the market breadth deteriorating. So everything this morning is looking pretty good. So let me tell you what the options picture is telling us. There's a lot of put writing that has come back into the system. The Nifty PCR was inching higher in the last two sessions. So today, if you can see the 10,900 put strike, that's added nearly 10 lakh shares is what I'm seeing on the NSE website. And even the 10,800 put strike has seen addition of 10 lakh shares. A lot of unwinding seen by the writers on the call side now. So if you look at strikes like 10,900, 10,700, and also in fact, the 11,050 strike, all of them are witnessing some bit of unwinding. The range remains the same in terms of OI concentration. 10,500 put and 11,000 call are the strikes sitting with maximum OI concentration. But Agam, what's the picture on the stock futures side?
Well, I'm tracking a lot of moves in Page Industries because we are looking at a near 12% surge in open interest, and this is after we've seen a drop of around 4.5% now. So shorts building up when it comes to Page Industries. Power Grid on the upside, however, seeing longs, and it's the same for Pidilite as well, up 1%. BEML, of course, is also surging in when it comes to underlying. We've seen another 11% increase, so longs building up there. And ACC, well, it's marginally in the red, down by less than 1%, but there is short build-up seen in ACC. Let's take a look at those which are looking at unwinding, and there aren't too many stocks which are buzzing or seeing unwinding. Only SRF with over 1.5% and Shree Cement over 1%, but nothing too much to speak for. Keeping an eye on Page Industries and Power Grid along with Pidilite in today's day of trade, Navneet.
Okay, and we'll be watching out for all those stock futures in today's trading session. But before we get you some trends going and get our expert view on the same, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. And you can also write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and for the ones who are watching our show on YouTube, you can write your queries on that platform. Also, just don't forget to put that hashtag of Ask PQ. Let me welcome our F&O experts then, Nirav Sheda of Nirmal Bang Securities and Ashish Chaturmota of Sanctum Wealth are joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today on Bloomberg Quint. Ashish, it's good to have you back after a long break. How was it?
It was good, Navneet. Thank you.
And it's a good comeback. Right?
Yeah, it's a good comeback. So that's very important, you know, that after such a break and today after a long time we have seen this kind of, you know, momentum building up with you know, we are seeing the kind of, you know, majority BJP is going to get in, and I think that's clearly getting reflected into the markets because it has been consolidating for last couple of trading sessions between 10,600 to 10,800 zone, and you know, we were a little skeptical because of the kind of resistance we were facing around this 10,750, 800, but since we have decisively broken this range, I think the previous resistance point, which was around 10,700, 720, will now continue to act as a very, very important support, and that is what is being reflected in today's you know, options data also, where we are seeing a clear put writing happening at 10,700, at 10,800 levels. So I think keeping that in mind, there exists a strong possibility of Nifty hitting 11,100 to 11,200 zone in next couple of trading sessions. So, and I think look at the large cap participation. Most of these names like Infosys, TCS, you know, Hindustan Lever, Reliance, HDFC Bank, they are showing tremendous strength, and I think this is a time you are going to see strong momentum coming back to the large cap good quality names rather than small and mid cap. So I think a lot of these large cap names are showing very good strength.
Sure. Nirav, good morning to you as well. Well, the event is largely behind us now. Of course, we're still waiting for the final results, but indications are that the event is done and dusted with. What are your readings when it comes to the benchmark indices?
Yeah. See, Nifty has, as Ashish said, has broken an important resistance level of 10,770 odd. Now it has come near another very important resistance of 11,000 levels. Now today being a very volatile day, I expect it to be very volatile. I believe the resistance will be touched off 11,000 and probably some selling can come. However, I will have no trade on the index as of now, but I want to see where it is going to close. See, if it closes above 11,000 levels, which also holds the highest call base, then a lot of short covering action will come. Even in the stocks, if you see in the last week on week basis, you know, most of the stocks were down, and today a lot of stocks have come up. So the short covering in those stocks is still pending. Most of the stocks are witnessing increase in OI today. So that short covering will lead Nifty towards 11,200, 300 odd levels. But closing above 11,000 is very important. So, you know, at 10,930, 940, you know, the risk reward for going for a buy is not really proper. So I would be, you know, sitting on the sidelines waiting for a 11,000 breakout and then go long.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. But Ashish, you know, it's not easy to carry over your position when you know there's such a big event lined up. People or traders who missed out on this rally, is there any option strategy that you would recommend to them around the current levels of 10,900?
No, so, you know, I think now there will be a lot of comfort in creating a long. See, what happens is during this uncertain period, a lot of even the smart money try to remain sideways, and they try to take a bet once the event is clear. So I think keeping that in mind, now a fresh momentum might start from current levels, and keeping that in mind, I think 11,000 call option makes a lot of sense. This call option could be initiated as a buy idea. I think it's trading somewhere around 60-65 levels as a premium. I think this could be bought even at current levels. Keep 35 as a stop loss. We expect index to hit 11,100, 150, and if that's the case within this expiry, this option might hit you know, 120, 130 levels on upside. So I think this could be a good buy idea. And one more, you know, long idea which looks very interesting because, you know, it's showing momentum. So I think Infosys is showing a very strong you know, uptick after a good consolidation between 1200 to almost 1100. This is a fresh breakout on weekly, monthly parameters. We have already seen a good amount of open interest addition in most of the IT names. So keeping that in mind, I think Infosys looks good for 1260 levels. So this could be initiated as a buy idea with a stop below 1190 zone.
All right, Nirav, how about you? How would you play the indices now?
Just as I said, I'll be waiting for a breakout of 11,000. A close above 11,000 would be the confirmation for me that we are now going to hit new highs. However, I will be playing stocks, and in the stocks, I do like SBI. See, a lot of PSU banks have witnessed a lot of selling pressure and had been consolidating. Now it seems the time is right for these banks to move up, especially SBI. From current levels, I believe it can go up towards 270 to 80 odd levels, so one can buy at current levels with a stop loss of about 248. And the second one will be a buy call on Hindalco. If you see, Hindalco had been making a higher top higher bottom formation before it reached a resistance of 270 odd levels, where it witnessed a lot of selling pressure. So the shorts now which were in the system are getting covered in this stock. I believe it is going to come up again towards 260 270 odd levels. One can keep a stop loss of about 240 and go long in this counter.
So we're getting a lot of long calls even on stock futures right now on the trade. And if one were to see the top gainer in terms of F&O securities in today's trading session, that's BEML. If I could just pull up that stock. Not to forget, it's a Bangalore-based company. The government in March had approved 26%, selling 26% stake in that company. And Centre holds that stake, but the existing chief minister wrote back to the Centre asking not to do that, and probably with the verdict changing now in favor of BJP, we've seen a huge surge coming in for BEML. Ashish, at 9% higher, 1146, 11% in terms of OI addition. Would you take a bet on the long side?
So I think this is just because people are expecting the stake sale might eventually come into the picture, and that's the reason we have seen this kind of massive uptick. If you remember the history, the stock has fallen from 2,000 levels to almost 1,000 levels. So almost a 50% correction has happened in just last 5-6 months, and that's the reason this kind of we saw some base building happening at 1,000 levels, but today clearly there is a strong open interest addition to the tune of 11-12%, and we are already seeing 9% rise. So this is going to see some amount of short covering. I was a little skeptical in the morning, but I think the way the stock has seen the open interest addition and is continuously sustaining above 1150 zone, I think there can be a strong pullback towards 1200, 1220 levels. So yes, even at current levels, I think this stock has a potential to move up another 50-60 rupees, and for that I think 1125 should be kept as a trailing stop loss.
Okay, let's address earnings right now, because we have Dr. Lal PathLabs. We've had a strong opening for this particular stock, and this is largely on account of the earnings, where we've seen about a 21% growth on a year-on-year basis, and margins coming in at around 24% against 22.7%. So it's clearly been a very strong quarter for Dr. Lal PathLabs, and on that account, we've seen about a near 9% increase in its stock price today, currently trading at around 880. We have Om Manchanda, CEO of Dr. Lal PathLabs, joining us. Om, good morning and thanks for joining us. Let me just talk about volumes and pricing growth for the quarter, how it's panned out for this particular quarter, and what your outlook is.
So we actually had growth of more than 20% in this quarter. And this was second successive quarter where we had registered growth of 20% and more. So, and it was primarily led by volume growth, where you can see that volume growth for the quarter is about 21.4%. So we are very pleased with our performance because it's primarily driven by volume. And it's a very encouraging exit for us, because compared to last year where we had impact because due to macro factors, but now the exit for FY18 has been very good. So we are hoping a good FY19 as well.
Mr. Manchanda, since you said the growth that one has seen on the top line can be attributed to a buoyant volume growth that you've registered for the quarter, this space particularly has been facing some bit of pricing pressures. If you could talk to us more about the pricing trends that now exist in the sector, do you see any sort of price increases that can take place in FY19?
I don't think so, because we will continue to stay competitive. Pricing pressure continues to stay in the industry. As you know, it's highly competitive, it's highly unorganized, and in the last few years we have seen a tremendous amount of pricing pressure. So we will continue to have an outlook where we don't drive growth through price increase, but we drive growth through volumes. And in response to that, we'll try and see if we can sustain the margins by looking at certain productivity initiatives, and I'm happy that we could manage this last year, and we hope to continue the same effort in next year as well.
What you're suggesting is in FY19, the focus remains on the volume growth and not on the pricing front. Your full year margins are at 26.3. Is that something you're targeting for FY19, or we can expect a bit of improvement from these levels?
I don't think one can see an improvement, but we'll try and hold on to this. In the past, we've guided the range between 25 to 27. Since we have achieved about 26.3, so I'm fairly confident that we should stay here, or maybe somewhere between 25 and 26%. But I really don't think it can go up from here.
Can you give us an update on the contribution from your Kolkata facility and how the performance has been, what its contribution is?
So Kolkata, it's early days yet because the lab has just become operational, and it will take about a few months before it stabilizes. But we are expecting good growth to come from Eastern India, and hopefully that we have a sort of a growth which will drive the overall all India growth. So I think in next 2 to 3 years we'll see a strong build-up in volume as well as value in East India.
Okay, Mr. Manchanda, we'll leave it at that note. Thanks a ton for joining us, and congratulations on good set of numbers. We wish you all the best for FY19.
Thank you.
Okay, there's lots happening today, earnings as well as the election result, but let's switch focus and try and take some viewer queries. We're receiving a lot of your queries on our social media platform. Our viewer Chetan writes to us, he wants a view on TCS. He's got 3600 call strike of TCS at a premium of 41. He wants to know what to do with that position. We'll try and pull up that strike of 3600, which he's purchased at a premium of 41. Nirav, if I could come to you, what advice would you want to give? Should he hold on, because the premium has slipped from his buy price of 41 to almost 31 right now?
Yeah, most certainly you should be exiting. See, another 10 odd days left for expiry, and 3600 is quite far from current levels. So I believe even if it expires around 3600 levels, he stands to make a loss. So he should be exiting positions, and once TCS breaks about 3500 odd levels, he can make a position at 3500 odd call.
Ashish, do you have a contra view? I know you're bullish on Infy today, but what about TCS?
I'm very positive, in fact, on the entire IT as a basket. Now look at TCS, what it has done. It has moved from 2900 to 35, 3600, and then it has been consolidating for last 8-10 trading sessions, clearly forming a pole and flag formation on a technical parameter, and something which is sustaining near its all-time high despite hitting, seeing almost 20%, 25% upside from lower levels.
Right.
Ideally, it should have seen some profit booking, which has not happened. In fact, the stock is continuously sustaining near its all-time high. So this is a very positive indication. And look at what other IT stocks are doing. They have crossed 52-week high after consolidating for a while. So that gives me a sense that there exists a very strong possibility of the entire IT basket showing an uptick. I think he should ideally keep 3450 as a stop loss. Till these levels are not broken, there exists a very strong possibility of TCS hitting 3600 within this expiry. Right. And around those levels, 3580, 3600, he should look for booking some gains in this call option.
Okay, 3600 is the level to watch out for. And the same viewer also has a query on Aurobindo Pharma, where a 640 call has been bought. It's currently trading at around 9.9. We don't know the rate at which that particular call has been bought, but let's take stock of where Aurobindo Pharma futures currently trade at. Are we looking at gains, and what sort of trends are we looking at when it comes to its open interest addition? So it's largely flat right now, currently at around 616, a bit far off from the 640 levels. Well, is there a possibility that this could likely move above those levels? Ashish, is there a possibility, and what would you advise the trader should do with his position in this one? No,
here I think stock is looking dull. In fact, it's better to exit positions, because even if the stock shows some uptick, it's not going to be significant enough to cover the call option up move. So I think broadly the pharma basket is not showing that kind of strength. In fact, if you remember, in last couple of trading sessions, we have been very negative on Ajanta Pharma because of a major head and shoulder being formed in the stock, and since then the stock has corrected almost 150 rupees. So I think broadly speaking, I'm not that comfortable holding on to this long position, whether it's Ajanta Pharma or Aurobindo Pharma or stock like Strides Sassoon. Most of these names are looking weak or other sideways, so better to reduce long positions.
Okay.
Okay, better to reduce long position in Aurobindo Pharma is the advice coming in from Ashish. I think our next query, we've got a live caller called Pavan Kumar. Hi Pavan, if you could hear me, good morning and thanks a lot for calling us. Tell us what's your query on.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Actually, I have one lot of Ashok Leyland futures at the rate of 164.
Okay.
Means yesterday's steep fall, I could not understand what was the reason, and will it bounce back, or I should exit from the call, or average it?
When did you take this position, Pavan?
Ma'am, the position is around 4 to 5 days hold.
You're willing to hold on for the next 4 to 5 sessions, right?
Yeah, I can hold, but should I exit?
Okay.
Is there any possibility of
you want to know what to do currently. Nirav, if I could come to you, Ashok Leyland was down 4.5% yesterday. Today also a mild bit of correction, but let's not forget it's been an outperformer on YTD basis last 1 year also. I'm sure the positional charts of Ashok Leyland are looking pretty good. But somebody who's taken a position on the futures side around 164, what would you advise that person? Can he hold on his position till the expiry?
Yeah. See, I think he should be holding his positions till expiry. It has got very good support at 148 levels. It has touched his 50-day moving average. Every time it does touch it, in this rally, it has been moving up from there. So I believe it can again, come up to its buy price and go above it also. So he should be holding with a stop loss of 148 on the futures.
Okay, we have another caller called Sudarshan. Hi, Sudarshan. Can you hear us? Welcome.
Yes,
tell us what would you like to know from our experts.
Sir, I bought one lot of Hindalco of this month expiry on 246.85. And as you know, tomorrow is their result declaring. What is your suggestion?
Okay, well, Hindalco futures bought Ashish, and keeping in mind tomorrow is, the earnings, what would you recommend Sudarshan should do?
See, positioning wise, it looks like stock can see a good amount of uptick, because see what has happened in last couple of trading sessions. We saw a sharp uptick from 200 to 270, and again there was a good amount of correction. So I think the base has been built somewhere around 240 238 zone. Keep that as a positional stop loss somewhere around 240. I see a possibility that stock might hit 260 265 in a shorter term. So I think there exists a strong possibility of stock showing at least 4 to 5% kind of upside from these levels.
Okay, watch out for the earnings tomorrow for Hindalco. Just want to alert our viewers, JSW Steel also comes out with numbers tomorrow, and ahead of that it has touched its fresh 52-week high in today's trade. Money Monster on YouTube writes to us, he wants to know what can be the target price on Reliance, since he's not mentioned what sort of position he's entered into. I'm presuming he's looking for targets on the upside. Ashish, what target would you suggest on Reliance Industries?
So this is a fresh breakout, and as you know, in the beginning of the show, one thing I mentioned very clearly is that this time you're going to see the large caps contributing good enough in the entire rally. So I think, and Reliance could be a leader within this entire uptick. So I think after consolidating in a range between 980 on upside to almost 880 kind of levels, this is a fresh breakout on weekly charts after almost 7-8 weeks of consolidation. So I see a possibility of Reliance hitting 1040 1045 levels. Ideally, to take advantage of this position, I would suggest create a long position in 1000 call option of Reliance.
All right, well, let's see if our experts are picking up anything interesting on the charts right now. Nirav, in the last 15-20 odd minutes, are you witnessing any interesting trends that you can pick on?
Yeah, I really like Equitas. Equitas had witnessed a breakout above 166 levels, which was a very important resistance. It had been making a lower top, lower bottom formation in a longer term chart. It has broken a big resistance above and is trading above the same. I believe it is likely to go up towards 190, 200 odd levels. So one can go long even for trading with a stop loss of about 165, and you can take profits if you're trading 1 to 2 days at 180.
Okay, so Equitas is looking good according to Nirav, and the quality of stocks among the F&O securities which are going up today from the likes of Suzlon, Just Dial, JP Associates, HCC. Ashish, does that make you very comfortable when it comes to the broader market space? And you rightly mentioned it's the large cap which may contribute. So anything interesting that's popping up on the screen right now?
Yeah, so names which you have discussed, even if they move 10%, I'm not going to take a long position, so that's for sure. I'll be very comfortably holding positions in stock like Colgate, which is showing tremendous amount of strength now. why this kind of stocks? See, look at the consolidation which has happened. Almost last 2 years it has been in a range, and post this numbers which we have seen from Dabur and Hindustan Lever, I think there is going to be a lot of buying interest in FMCG basket. So I think Colgate looks very interesting with a very favorable risk reward. I'll suggest that with just 20-25 rupees downside risk, stock looks good for at least 100 rupees upside from current level. So that's the reason I think Colgate is one stock which I would like to initiate as a long position. Infosys, as I mentioned during the show, that it has consolidated for last 7-8 weeks, and it's a fresh breakout about 1200 zone. So with 1185 as a stop loss, I think 1250 is a target I'm expecting in Infosys. One stock in the mid cap IT which is showing very good strength is KPIT Technologies. Again consolidated for last 5-6 weeks, and now we have seen a good amount of open interest in last 4 trading sessions. 259 should be kept as a trading stop loss. On upside, 272 could be the expected target in the next 2-3 trading sessions in KPIT.
Okay, well, with that, we're going to thank our experts Ashish and Neera for joining us and giving us their views on, well, the markets, and also solving some of the queries that our viewers have had. And we're also going to wrap up this edition of the FNO show, but don't go anywhere. Lots more lined up, so stay tuned in the Bloomberg Quint.